Somewhere on a used car lot right now, there's a vehicle worth more than what most people are financing for 6 years. Not in nostalgia, in actual numbers. This list isn't about classic cars or restoration projects. It's about 7 specific cars you can buy today, cheap, that quietly humiliate what's rolling off dealership lots in 2026. Some of these cost less than a new car's down payment. Let's start with the one nobody expects. Number 1 is the 2015 Toyota Camry. On paper, it sounds boring. That's exactly the trap. Dealers price new sedans north of $28,000 now, loaded with subscription features you'll pay monthly for, heated seats behind a paywall, remote start locked behind an app tier. Meanwhile, a well-maintained 2015 Camry sits around $9,000 to $11,000. And here's the part that stings. Consumer Reports has ranked that generation among the most reliable mid-size sedans ever built, with owners regularly crossing 250,000 miles without a transmission rebuild. The conflict is obvious once you say it out loud. You're paying triple, sometimes quadruple, for depreciation you'll eat within 3 years, while this one already took the hit for you. It already lost 60% of its value. Now it just runs. But that's not even the strongest case on this list. There's a detail most buyers overlook completely, and it involves a car people assume is impractical. Number 2 is the Mazda MX-5 Miata, specifically the ND generation from 2016 onward. Everyone assumes a 2-seat convertible is a toy, expensive to maintain, fragile, built for weekend hobbyists. The data says the opposite. Miatas post some of the lowest annual repair costs in the entire industry. RepairPal places them well under $400 a year on average, cheaper than plenty of economy sedans. And resale value barely moves. A 2018 Miata with 40,000 miles still commands close to what it sold for new, adjusted for a few years of use. Compare that to a brand new compact SUV, which loses nearly 20% of its value the moment it leaves the lot. So the impractical toy is actually one of the most financially rational used cars in America. The irony writes itself. Here's where it gets more interesting, though, because the next car on this list isn't just cheap. It's a car manufacturers themselves quietly admit they can't replicate anymore. That's coming up next, and the reason involves something most new car buyers have never even heard of, a discontinued engine platform that engineers still call overbuilt by accident. The car that engineers accidentally overbuilt is the Lexus IS-250, specifically the 2006 to 2013 models. This one gets skipped constantly because people confuse it with a cheap luxury car, which sounds like a red flag. It isn't. Lexus used the same 2GR FEV6 platform found in the Toyota Avalon and Camry, an engine so overbuilt for its original purpose that Lexus technicians have publicly admitted, in trade interviews, that the tolerances were tighter than what the car actually required. Translation: the motor was designed to outlast the rest of the vehicle by a wide margin. You can find these for $8,000 to $12,000 today, with leather interiors, real badge prestige, and mechanical parts shared with cars famous for running past 300,000 miles. Here's the conflict nobody talks about. New luxury sedans in 2026 start well above $45,000. And most of that premium goes toward infotainment systems, not mechanical longevity. Meanwhile, this older Lexus delivers the badge, the ride quality, and a drivetrain that was never allowed to be the weak point. It's not a coincidence that mechanics keep quiet ones like this in their own driveways. Number 4 shifts the story completely, because this next one isn't about reliability. It's about a manufacturing decision that backfired in the buyer's favor. The 2014 to 2016 Chevrolet Impala. GM redesigned this car aggressively in 2014, aiming it directly at Toyota Avalon and Buick LaCrosse buyers, and it worked almost too well. Consumer Reports actually gave it a rare recommended rating that year for a domestic full-size sedan, something that hadn't happened often. But sedans fell out of fashion right as this generation launched. SUVs took over the market, and full-size sedans got dumped by dealers at steep discounts almost immediately. That means depreciation hit this car harder and faster than its actual quality deserved. Today you can find one for $7,000 to $9,000 with leather seats, a massive back seat, and a smoother ride than cars costing 3 times as much. The car didn't fail. The market shifted underneath it. And that's exactly why it's sitting there, undervalued, waiting. But even that isn't the most dramatic mismatch on this list. There's a next one where the price gap between used and new isn't just a discount. It's an entire market correction that caught manufacturers off guard. Number 5 involves a compact SUV that used to be priced almost identically to its competitors, until a wave of recalls on other brands quietly made buyers switch, tanking resale demand on this one specifically, not because of its own flaws, but because of guilt by association. The used market punished a car that never actually deserved it. And once you see which SUV that is, you'll understand why some dealers still don't advertise it the way they should. That story is next. Number 5 is the 2015 to 2017 Honda CR-V. Here's the twist behind that guilt by association tease. Around that same period, several rival compact SUVs got hit with high-profile transmission recalls and CVT failures that made headlines for months. The CR-V wasn't part of that mess. It ran a conventional automatic, not the problematic CVTs some competitors used. But resale shoppers, spooked by the broader panic around small SUVs, started demanding steeper discounts across the entire segment. Dealers, trying to move inventory fast, priced the CR-V down right alongside cars that actually had documented issues. The result, a genuinely dependable SUV, with iSeeCars data showing this generation regularly surpassing 200,000 miles, sitting at $11,000 to $13,000 today. New compact SUVs now start above $30,000 for a comparable trim. You're not just paying for depreciation here. You're overpaying because an entirely different car scared the market. Number 6 turns the story towards something almost nobody expects, a pickup truck. The 2011 to 2014 Ford F-150 with the 5-liter V8. Trucks usually hold value stubbornly, which is exactly why this one stands out. It's the exception that got left behind. Ford shifted marketing hard toward the EcoBoost Turbo V6 during this window, and buyers followed the hype, chasing better advertised fuel economy. That pushed naturally aspirated V8 F-150s into a strange discount zone, even though mechanics widely regard that 5.0 as one of the simplest, most durable engines Ford has built in the last 2 decades. Fewer turbo components to fail, fewer sensors to fool. You can find one today for $13,000 to $16,000 with well over 100,000 miles left in it, while a new F-150 crosses $45,000 before you've added a single option. The truck didn't lose to a better product. It lost to a marketing campaign. And that brings us to number 7, the one that ties this entire list together, because it isn't really about one car at all. It's about a Honda Accord from 2013 to 2017. But the reason it belongs here isn't reliability, or an engine quirk, or market panic. It's simpler and somehow more uncomfortable to admit. This generation of Accord already had nearly everything new cars advertise as innovations today: adaptive cruise, lane monitoring, a refined Turbo 4 option for a fraction of the price, years before manufacturers started charging subscription fees to unlock those same features monthly. J.D. Power ranked this generation near the top of its class for long-term dependability. You're looking at $10,000 to $13,000 for a car that already solved the problem new cars are still trying to sell you. Which raises an uncomfortable question worth sitting with for a second. If a car built over a decade ago can already deliver adaptive cruise control, a reliable engine, a comfortable interior, and 200,000 miles of proven durability, what exactly is that extra $20,000 on a new car actually buying you? For a lot of buyers, the honest answer is very little. It's buying a badge that hasn't depreciated yet. It's buying a warranty you may never use. It's buying features locked behind a subscription that older cars simply included for free. That's really the thread connecting all 7 of these. The Camry took its depreciation hit early, so you don't have to. The Miata proved that impractical and expensive to own aren't the same thing. The Lexus carried an engine that was arguably too good for its own price bracket. The Impala got punished by a market trend it had nothing to do with. The CR-V absorbed a panic that belonged to other cars. The F-150 lost to a marketing campaign, not a mechanical flaw. And the Accord simply proved that new technology isn't always new. Sometimes it's just newly rebuilt. None of this means new cars are worthless. Warranties matter, financing terms matter, and some buyers genuinely need the latest safety architecture. But the pattern here is hard to ignore once you see it laid out. Depreciation curves are brutal in the first 3 years, and manufacturers know most buyers never do this math. They're counting on you not noticing that someone else already paid the real cost of that new car smell, and what's left over is a proven, tested, mechanically sorted vehicle for a third of the price. So before signing anything at a dealership this year, it might be worth checking whether one of these 7, or something built on the same logic, is quietly sitting on a used lot 2 miles away, priced like it's nothing, running like it's everything. If this kind of breakdown actually changed how you look at car shopping, that's really the only reason to stick around this channel. More of these comparisons are coming, and they tend to save people a lot more than a tank of gas.